Hello, and welcome to myTRIAList. Today, we will discuss the ongoing Phase 1 clinical trial, BEHOLD-1. This trial is evaluating GSK 5733584, a potential new medicine for people with advanced solid tumors, including those with platinum-resistant ovarian cancer and endometrial cancer.
What do you mean by advanced solid tumors?
Solid tumors are cancers that form in organs or tissues. The term advanced typically refers to cancer that has either grown large in its original location, has spread to nearby tissues, or has metastasized, meaning that it has traveled to other parts of the body.
Can you tell me more about platinum-resistant ovarian cancer and endometrial cancer?
Ovarian cancer that is platinum resistant is cancer in the ovaries that responds at first to treatment with certain chemotherapy drugs, such as carboplatin, but then the cancer comes back within a certain period of time, often within 6 months. Endometrial cancer is a cancer that starts in the lining of the uterus. Treating advanced solid tumors that do not respond to treatment can be challenging, since using current treatments may not be an option. This makes studies like the BEHOLD-1 trial meaningful for patients who need a different treatment approach.
Hello, I'm Dr. Bhavana Pathuri. I'm a gynecologic oncologist at NYU Langone Health, and I also serve as the Clinical Trials Office Medical Director at the Perlmutter Cancer Center. I'm very particular about the trials that I select to open, as I believe that the trials have to help my patients. And the preliminary data for this medicine show that it's highly effective, but also tolerable.
What is the medicine being studied in this trial?
The drug being tested in this study, GSK 5733584, is an antibody drug conjugate, or ADC for short. That means that an antibody and drug are chemically linked together. The antibody portion seeks out and binds specifically to cancer cells that have certain markers on their surface. Once attached, the drug component is delivered directly into the cancer cell, where it works to potentially destroy the cell from within. Think of the antibody as a delivery truck that only delivers packages, the drug, to specific addresses, in this case, cancer cells. The medicine is given as an IV injection, meaning it's delivered directly into the bloodstream with a needle through a vein.
What is the goal of BEHOLD-1?
The primary goal of the first part of the BEHOLD-1 clinical trial is to determine the safest and most effective drug dose of GSK 5733584 in patients with platinum-resistant ovarian cancer or endometrial cancer who are no longer responding to current treatments or patients who were unable to tolerate the side effects of current treatments. The second part of the trial will test how well this dose works, how safe it is, and how drug levels change over time in people with these specific cancers.
How is this study set up?
The first part is a dose escalation study, which is used in early phase cancer research to help find the optimal dose of the medication. Patients are typically assigned to different groups, with each group receiving a different dose level of the study drug. The study usually begins with a small group receiving the lowest anticipated safe dose. Investigators make sure that the dose is safe before testing a higher dose in the next group of patients. Subsequent groups receive progressively higher doses. This helps researchers determine the dose that provides the best balance of effectiveness and safety, which will then be tested in the second part of the trial.
This is a phase 1 trial, and phase 1 trials are the earliest trials we do. And once we've identified a promising dose, we then move it into an expansion phase. And that's where these trials currently are, both for ovarian and for endometrial cancer.
Who is eligible to participate in this study?
In the first part of the study, participants have a confirmed advanced solid tumor that has either grown while on treatment or no longer responds to the standard treatment options. For the second part of the study, participants must have either platinum-resistant ovarian cancer or endometrial cancer. For both parts of the study, participants must be at least 18 years old and female. They must also have measurable disease, meaning that investigators can observe the tumor with imaging throughout the study. Lastly, Participants must have adequate function of organs, such as the kidneys and the liver, to safely process and tolerate treatment. These are just a few key criteria. For additional eligibility criteria, please visit clinicaltrials.gov/NCT-064-31594.
If a patient was hesitant to consider a clinical trial, I first would tell them to walk into their pharmacy and look around. All the medicines that we have there are a result of clinical trials and of thousands of patients before them who participated, so that we have access to all these medicines. In addition, I would tell them that I would recommend a clinical trial to my family member. And if I were ever in the position, I would take the opportunity to participate myself. It really allows patients access to tomorrow's therapies today. And really having access to cutting edge therapies is so important, especially as we try to fight cancer.
We hope this video helped you learn more about the BEHOLD-1 study. Check out the BEHOLD-1 study page on myTRIAList, where you can find the study contact in case you have any questions or want to find out if you qualify for the study. Visit the myTRIAList trial finder at myTRIAList.org to find the right study for you.